Story title: The Potter's Dawn. In a quiet village near the mountains, there lived a potter named Haru. His hands were his pride, strong, steady, shaped by years of molding clay into beauty. People came from distant towns to buy his pots, and his name became a symbol of craftsmanship and grace. But one summer, a terrible earthquake struck. It came without warning, shaking the ground and splitting the earth open. Haru's workshop collapsed, crushing his kiln, breaking every pot, every vase, every dream he had built with his bare hands. When the dust settled, he sat among the ruins, covered in ash. His neighbors offered comfort, but he only said one thing: "It's over." He locked his doors and stopped working. Days turned to weeks. The villagers moved on, rebuilding their homes. But Haru's house stayed dark. The once rhythmic sound of his wheel whir, thump, spin was gone. Every morning he would walk past his ruined workshop, but he couldn't step inside. The smell of clay now reminded him of failure, not creation. One evening, his friend Mika, the village carpenter, knocked on his door. She carried a small bowl in her hands, a cracked piece Haru had made years ago. "It's the only one that survived the quake," she said gently. "I kept it because it reminds me of your kindness." Haru looked at the bowl. Its edges were chipped, the glaze worn, but it still held its shape. He said quietly, "It's broken." Mika smiled. "Then fix it." He shook his head. "I don't make things anymore." "Then what will you do?" she asked. Haru looked out the window at the mountain peaks. "I don't know." That night he sat awake staring at the broken bowl. He traced the cracks with his fingers. The lines looked like rivers on a map, messy, unpredictable, alive. He remembered something his master once told him. "Clay teaches you life, Haru. You must shape it with patience. When it breaks, it's not the end, it's a new beginning waiting for your hands." He closed his eyes and sighed. Maybe one more time. The next morning, Haru cleaned his workshop. He cleared the rubble, rebuilt the table, and patched the roof. The villagers stopped to watch. Some smiled. Others whispered that he was wasting time. He didn't care. He sat at his wheel again. His hands trembled at first, but as the clay spun beneath his palms, something inside him began to breathe again. For hours he molded the clay, breaking and remolding it. None of the pieces were perfect. Some cracked, some collapsed, but he kept going. Weeks passed. Haru began experimenting with an ancient Japanese art called kintsugi, the practice of repairing broken pottery with gold. Instead of hiding the cracks, he filled them with golden lacquer, turning each flaw into a part of the story. At first, the villagers thought he was foolish. Who would want broken pots? They laughed. But when they saw the finished pieces, bowls that shimmered with gold veins like lightning frozen in time, the laughter stopped. Each piece was unique, beautiful, and alive. Word spread again, but this time differently. People came not for perfect pots, but for broken ones reborn in Haru's hands. Travelers brought their shattered teacups, their family heirlooms, their forgotten treasures, and Haru restored them with grace. One evening, Mika returned with the old cracked bowl. "Do you think this one can be saved too?" she asked. Haru smiled. "It already is." He repaired it, filling its cracks with gold. When he was done, he held it to the sunlight. The golden lines glowed like dawn breaking through clouds. Mika whispered, "It's more beautiful than before." Haru nodded. "Because it has survived." Years later, Haru became known not as the potter of perfection, but as the potter of renewal. People would visit just to watch him work, fascinated by how gently he treated each broken piece. He always said the same thing to them: "We are all made of clay. We all crack. But it's the courage to begin again that turns us into art." When he passed away, his students continued his craft. On his workshop wall, they found a single line written in gold paint: "The sun rises for those who dare to start again." And so, in every sunrise over the mountains, the villagers remembered the man who taught them that courage isn't about never breaking. It is about learning to rebuild with grace. Moral of the story: starting over takes courage, not perfection. True strength lies in rebuilding yourself piece by piece and turning your scars into gold.